Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Brian here, back with another video. And today we're going to be taking a look at 5 hotels or resorts in Aracaju. Aracaju is a coastal city. Looks like it might be a tourist city in Brazil, just on the more like southeastern side. Um, so for our categories, we're going to be rating 5 stars out of 5 different categories. First one being location. Next one being style or what it is, pictures, reviews, and some curb appeal. I think we're going to get some pretty good curb appeal, street view wise. We can get to maybe zoom into this place, take a look at what it actually looks like and not just the product pictures that they show. So without a further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, so I typed in hotels. As we can see, I was correct. It is a coastal touristy type of place. So we have quite a bit of hotels on the main strip here. Plus the airport is right here. So we're going to take a look at that, being a big factor to it. People fly in, they want some tourists. So the hotel or resort that I found is a little bit further away. We're going to be reviewing the Tropical Mar Hotel, $36 a night, which I mean it's cheaper, but it's US currency, but here's some pictures. Let's take a look at some pictures. So it's kind of like 1 floor or so, maybe even 2 floor. So if a hotel is two or less, it's technically a motel. So is it really a hotel? Not so much. This looks like it is outdoor balcony seats. Uh, nice patio. I don't know why this is all in black and white. Oh, he's probably making a music video. Oh, it's the company itself. I mean, it's nice. Has a pool, has water. I mean, you're probably there to use the beach and stuff, so they want to connect that sand moment. Yeah, here we go. So it looks like it's individual units, or at least motel style units. Breakfast smoothies, oranges, some fruit, things like that. That lady and that guy. Okay, this is one of the beds or the bedrooms. You kind of see very thin sheets. Brazil being a little bit warmer and tropical of a place, I would imagine. Um, Not so heavy with the duvets and comforters, but instead light furniture. Here's some beachside resort looks. Again, kind of small. This was that fountain that we saw for the pool. Overall, it looks nice. I mean, you're pretty close to the water. I'm not sure if there's beach access, but you are pretty close to the water, which is a plus. Bathroom, 3 beds in a room. Usually it's two. This is 3 twins, so I would imagine maybe you book it with a connecting. You get like a queen or a king or something. Put the children in that. Here we can see kind of an overview of it, assuming this is it. This is where we saw that pathway. Maybe registration is this building, but unlikely. I think it's just all of this. Registration right out front. And then across the street is the beach. So it's pretty good. Um, this I'm assuming is another resort, and this I'm assuming is a garage or something. We can kind of see a little bit of a garage. But this with a pool, I'm assuming for sure is another resort. As for a main strip, at least from this picture, we don't really see too much of a main strip. Um, this guy is trying to enjoy his vacation, and then a garbage truck comes, and that's him. That is the vibe. Amenities and a sink, pool. I mean, the pool is a nice feature. Um, on the out front, if this is the curb, maybe not so much curb appeal. Again, well, it has a playground and it has a pool, but it looks like a lot of their amenities are just kind of thrown to the front of the building, ocean included. being amenity. Um, dunes, kids playing a pool, drone shot. What is this? I'm assuming this is like a retail store or a larger hotel building that lives next door. Eh, hammocks, outside hammocks. They have a lot of outside furniture. A lot of it is just kind of cheap wicker though. So, with that being said, that is going to be the pictures on the Tropical Bar Hotel. Review wise, 800 reviews, about 4 stars, averaging 3-star hotel. Let's see what some of the reviews say. We cancel out of it. Yeah, we can. Okay. Let's zoom right in. Let's see some reviews. Structure, sanding, Arcos della Ora d'Italia, and education. 4 stars. I think it's good, but better. An example, having a big pool. It is very good. Top, excellent, top, excellent, excellent. 2 stars. We stayed between 2026. We chose the hotel based on recommendations. The bed was awful. The mattress was old, dirty, and terrible. The pillows were completely moldy and grimy, full of mites. Breakfast had no options, not even French bread or sliced bread, just the basics. I want sliced bread for breakfast. The only positive point is the staff who were always helpful. I commend them. However, the hotel structure is old. The location is great. Um, we're probably going to see that with a lot of hotels, like our restaurant one. Usually with restaurants, they say, "Oh, the food was good, but the service was terrible." Uh, ironically, with hotels, it's the exact opposite. Usually the building is terrible, falling apart, and then the staff are very, very nice, good people. Let's talk about the hotel. 1 star. We arrived on Thursday. The receptionist did answer, but showed no interest, even though he noticed the guests were arriving. We got to the chalet. They're calling it a chalet. Everything was dirty. On Saturday, we dried. The well dried up, and we were simply left without water. Oh, so they use a well water, I guess, and they have to pump the well. An employee even commented that the hotel owner doesn't care and isn't bothered by the guests. I said it would be the first and last time there, and he agreed. The hotel's, yeah, I mean, the guy's reasonable. I mean, what does he want? He can't do anything about it. So, yeah, the hotel owner probably doesn't give a shit if the place sucks. So, I mean, you paid for it. What does he care? If you want to sleep with cockroaches, go to this hotel. Old stained towels, old bed linens, yellow, bad smell. Think it would be simple because it's cheap. It was the worst experience. Um, if you don't want to read the wrong text, I'll give you a summary about the hotel. If you can avoid it, all the better. If you order food through an app, they let you use the restaurant. What? Um, Cutlery is kept together in plastic drawers. The pool is dirty to the point where you can see human secretions floating in it. I just imagine like a used Band-Aid or something. This guy has a couple of pictures. It's all breakfast pictures. I take that back. He actually did the legwork of taking some of the pictures we did see. Not a fan of the front though. Hotel entrance is nice. Oh, see, they talked about the entrance. I wasn't even talking about the entrance. The hotel entrance being nice. Whoops. Um, my husband saw photos of the room facing the front of the hotel, but if I'm not mistaken, there are only 1 or 2 of those units. Duh, it's a hotel. Obviously, they're going to show the corner suites as a more elevated experience to showcase and sell, as opposed to, you know, the 3-bedroom twin that we saw, which I don't know why you would need 3 twins in a bed or 3 twins in a room, but um, I don't know. People book their accommodations differently. Service is awful. They don't clean the room. Uh, Not a pleasant experience. The attendant reserved it. Um, then they said no more vacancies. And everybody probably uses WhatsApp. Oh well. Terrible. The hotel looks good in the photos, but in person it's completely different. Well, it didn't look too good in the photos, so oh well. What can you say? What can you do? Okay. So those are some reviews about it. Um, those are some reviews. Let's see if we can get an actual street view. Ooh, we might be able to. There she is. Tropical Del Mar. Tropical Mar, my bad. Tropical Mar Hotel. Um, I'm not a fan of this triangle thing. I mean, it's even separated, which I guess helps the gardener or something. Um, here's the pool, playground for the kids. I mean, very basic amenities. I'm not a fan of it looking very ashy. The structure looks fine. It's not grand or anything, but at least the structure looks fine. Um, again, the layout of the front is kind of awkward. I'm assuming pull in here, leave out there. Elevated area for the kitties. Right across the street. Do we have access to the beach? Um, yes, actually. Yes, we do. I'm assuming this little divot in the curb would constitute as oceanfront access. Looks like we also have a bike lane right here, which is pretty good. Better than most places. Um, and a fence. What is this building next door? This has to be another hotel or something. Someone parks there. Mansion events. Is it a banquet space? It could be a banquet space. All right, all right. So curb appeal. It's got some, not a whole lot, but it's got some. This is the inside. This is reception. Okay, so this is the reception area. Uh, their design is roses. Yep. Uh, makes sense that this is reception right in the middle. As soon as you walk in, grand entrance. Well, the entrance is as grand as it can be. Probably office space, office space. I think this is where the breakfast might be. I know I already zoomed into it. Yeah, this is where the breakfast and restaurant is. So off to the left, office, off to the right, restaurants, and then in the back would be accommodations. Can we see a second street view or a second inside? Yep. So I was right. This is where the gardener comes, plants all the flags, or plants the flowers and everything. They want a little boat that they put in the middle. This is not sand. That's actually a little bit classier. This isn't just sand. This is like a foam tiling that they use for the kids, so that if he falls off, he's not gonna he's not gonna hurt himself. Um, all right, and then we're gonna take a look at the last circle here, right in the middle. He's probably going to show us the down or the catwalk of it. So off individual units, you do get a balcony. It's not a good balcony, but you do, or a porch. You do get a porch balcony. Um, I mean they're kind of small in size. They're very linear in one direction or narrow, whichever word you want to use. Um, this could be split into two, actually. Looking at this and this having two separate walls. So this is actually probably split into two. So your room is about from here to back here. You're not getting this extra back part. I can imagine as a walkway, you're going down, and then you take this alleyway, this turn, and then you have to take a right to get into your unit. So essentially you're facing a cement wall when you look out your window, which if you book one of these ones, at least you can give some illusion to yourself that you're not staring at someone else's hotel room. But I think overall, all of the units are like that, except for, again, most likely the corner units, which are probably just going to be facing the registration building. Behind it, um, service entrance, but pretty much just nothing. Pretty much just nothing. It doesn't really look there's much development for like restaurants, stores, things like that really out here. It's just kind of open land. All right. So Tropical Del Mar, I keep saying Del Mar. Tropical Mar Hotel. Let's go through the list and give it our rating. So for location, location wise, I would say location's pretty good. I mean, if we take a look at it on the outside a little bit, well, I don't know if location's really that good. It's a little bit further away. Actually, it's quite far away. I would give the location about like a two. Um, yeah, probably like a two. I mean, it is right on the water, so that's pretty close. It's not on the water street. You have to cross the street to get to the water. But that's pretty much its only factor is you have water right across the street. It is an event space. Um, so location, we're gonna give about a two. Style or what it is, we're probably gonna give that another two. I mean, style wise, it kind of makes sense. It's not cool looking by any means. There is some confusion about what a hotel and a motel is. So even though it's called hotel, this is more so along the lines of a motel with an M as in Mary. So we're probably gonna give that a two. Breakfast and everything like that kind of sucked. Not too coherent. I mean, a lot of the stuff is there's not too much of an appeal. Pictures. The pictures did show accuracy. We can't knock off points for accuracy. So I would say pictures were about like a three as well. Um, didn't seem like a lot of them were product shots or computer composites or anything like that. So we're probably gonna give that a three. Um, there was quite a bit of pictures actually. I don't know. There's quite a bit of pictures. Again, they were pretty accurate. They were pretty accurate. I don't know who that lady is. Oh, there's a bird. Wait a second. Where'd the bird go? Oh, there's a bird. Oh, it's a video of a bird. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not swayed. Three stars for that. As for curb appeal, we did get to see some curb appeal, um, which it's okay. Uh, yeah, it's pretty much okay. We're probably gonna give that another three. It's not grand, but it gets the job done. It's coherent. The front of it looks coherent. Let's say it just looks coherent. So, um, so yeah, that's gonna do it for Tropical Mel Bar. And on to the next one. All right. So for our next one, we have kind of a clickbaity one. This one looks like it's a higher end type of resort. It came up pretty much when I zoomed in on the city. So it's a little bit on the northern end. Looks like it's on the opposite side. Perhaps they do that so that this is the nicer end, and this is kind of everything else. It's a little bit away from the airport. It is off the beaten path. Yeah, this is probably the more luxury touristy area. We can tell by the roadways here that this is kind of something a little special. So Makai Resort Aracaju, um, 6,500 reviews. That's pretty good. Pretty much 5 stars. Hotel, 4-star hotel. Um, pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. So let's take a look at some pictures. Looks like it's already colorful right off the bat. Is it gonna show me pictures? There we go. There's some toy characters for the kids. Looks like it's a little kiddie pond as well. Some water showers or whatever so that people can play on them. Um, Unique mix of tile and brickwork. Here we have a video of it. They own a lot of land. If this is all the hotel, they own quite a bit of land. This is another 3-bed accommodation. These are very popular in this area for some reason. Beachfront tourism. I'm assuming you want lots of people for cheap amounts, but uh, in my hotel career, I have never seen a 3-bedroom accommodation before. At least not like this. Usually they're bunk beds, but 3 twin beds is a little interesting. This is their outdoor pool. Outdoor pool's pretty big. This, I would imagine, is a bar or restaurant, kind of like a splash pool or cabana type of deal. Uh, Basic bathrooms. This is also probably a bar. This is probably also a bar. If it gets busy, they set it up or something like that. Maybe they do scheduled times. These look like the accommodations. Very standard buildings. This is 3 floors, and this is 2 floors. Um, they actually are a resort and can get away with calling themselves a resort because they have multiple buildings, kind of multiple things, as opposed to a motel that has 1 floor, trying to call itself a hotel, which needs about 3. This is the outdoor area. Again, assuming that they own this as well. This is a lot of real estate. This is some high value. Archery. One of their amenities is target practice, which is pretty cool. So you go to the beach, you want to do some archery and target practice. This is a first floor accommodation. Beds look a little tight, not too lumbar comfortable. TV, kind of basic TV, basic furniture, but outside you get this balcony. Again, first floor. Probably you want something on the second or third floor so you can at least get some elevation above the trees and see into the water. Registration. Registration building, pretty grand. Their lobby looks pretty good. Walks right through out to the ocean. So the person at the desk, they can look to the left, stare at the waterfront all day when he's bored, look to the right, and see the entrance. Now, there's no doors. Um, I'm not sure if there's a separate door beside this, like a vestibule or an entrance or something, but here there's no door. So that's kind of odd. Product shot, product shot. Here's the outside building. I'm assuming this is registration. It reminds me of the place in Australia. I think it's Sydney Opera House or something like that. That famous building, but it has a very curved, kind of jutting out type of shape to it. This kind of blend of outside and inside, but at least you're under the cover outside, so that if you do choose that. Restaurant and dining. This is a pretty big restaurant. This is a lot of space here. With it being a busy hotel, or at least a large hotel, we're going to see busy spaces or large spaces. Look at those towels. Every place folds towels differently. This is a really interesting design. So I think one person's checking into here, so they only did the one bed, but very interesting kind of roll there. Product shot, product shot, product shot. I mean, it's not bad. Outdoor pool, well, the kiddie pool is pretty large. It's not super large, but it's larger. It's large enough to get what the job's done. The adult pool is pretty big. You can swim laps around it, which is nice. Um, yeah, that is pretty nice. I'm not sure what this is, but there is a bridge. Again, I'm assuming that's like a bar or something that people can set up later on, maybe at night, concerts, something like that. I'm sure that says Dasani, like the water company. Ah, now that's some towel folding. Just married. That's cute. Very an eccentric swan. Yeah, that's cute. Some stairs in the pool. You have a shallow end along the side here. Then you go into it, and it's deeper end. Not sure how deep. Actually, can we see how deep? No, it's not gonna tell us. No. Um. Oh well. Product shot. Product shot. Product shot. This is the outside. Product shot. Hammocks. Volleyball. Pool. Restaurant. Things like that. Okay. All right. I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely a nicer place. Definitely, if you're going to stay with your family and you want to splurge a little bit, foreign tourist, you're going to want to choose something like here. Um, for reviews, devil's in the details. 1 star. 2 months ago, 1 star. The only good thing about this resort is the staff and location. See, it's always going to be the staff was good or the location's good, but the hotel itself could be more to desire. Hotel has great facilities. The staff is excellent. How they entertain the team, with the kids, great daily activities. So they probably have a kids club. During this stay, we even saw kids experiencing activities similar to Indian Festival Holly. Not sure what that is. We are thrilled that you're here. Inspired. It is inspired by that. It's our goal to ensure our kids have a delightful stay. 2 stars. We could relax, thinking we could relax with our 4-year-olds. While I can't blame them for making an effort, they fall very short from any standards you would find more. First and foremost, the people on the service were both great. Our room was sea facing, though our first room had a faulty air condition. Once they fixed it, broke again, got another room. Waived the resort fees. um, People will do that too. They'll be like, "Oh, the AC didn't work. Give me $1,000 back." And sometimes places will give it, which is insane. But if your AC works or not, that shouldn't break the value of the stay. Honestly, something as trivial as the coffee maker, the AC not working. I mean, it's it's gonna break. You're not the first person it's broken on. You're not gonna be the last person it's broken on. You're just gonna have to accept it. Maybe don't use the AC. Maybe don't use the coffee maker. Maybe just go out and do something. Um, that's just my take. 2 stars. Unfortunately, this hotel might not appear what it seems. Uh, the facility is truly old and needs complete renovation. Uh-oh. Maintenance issues, uh, lack of communication, food's mediocre, doesn't give hot water, dirty mirror. Uh, Response from the owner. 8 years ago. Oh my God. Some of these are kind of old. Stayed here knowing this is a bit about a town because we had a car, we're on a resort for the kids. Dining wasn't that good. It's always that restaurant too. Hotel, I mean, most hotel, it's the restaurant that's the issue. Whoops. Um, it's always the restaurant. It's always the server. The hotel is to be congratulated 7 years ago. So in 1 year, they should be congratulated. Um, I'd like to thank the security guard, Carlos, who's given me a spectacular presentation. All the employees, 9 years ago, all the employees strongly recommend the resort. I don't know if this is the same place, but they're recommending something else. Directly to the seashore, far away from the city. I mean, it does look nice. All right. Some pretty good reviews for the most part. I mean, a lot of them are old. Um, a lot of them are old, but I mean, it's okay. Yeah, they kind of a lot of people weren't too happy. Oh, beautiful, quiet, full of activities and nature report. They have sports like archery and paintball. Uh, the only downside are the lack of free beverages during lunch and dinner. He's like, wow, they have paintball, but I have to pay for a drink. That's insane. I paid hundreds of dollars for this vacation. What do you mean I have to pay more for food? It's not all included, but people are like that. People just do stuff. So, let's give a review of the Makai Resort and Akaju. So, location, it's a little bit away. It's off the beaten path. It's in a nicer area, so we'll give that credit because it is meant to be. Again, this is supposed to be the touristy higher end area. So we'll give a location about a 4. Hmm. Yeah, we'll give the location about a 4. There's not much of a nightlife because you're supposed to be at the resort, but at the resort there's restaurant, food, stuff like that. Beach, waterfront, everything like that. In a nicer area, not away from all the stupid stuff. So we'll give that credit as well. And it's on water. So, yep. uh, Style or what it is, it makes sense. I mean, we got to see, and it makes sense on what they're doing. The style again kind of reminds me a little bit of Sydney Opera House. I think that's the place I'm thinking of. Um, Coherent, makes sense, fits the area. We do have Street View, which is going to be some bonus points for the curb appeal. Um, for pictures, this is the resort. For pictures, I would say our pictures do some pretty good justice. Um, they aren't total hacks where it's the company selling itself out. They're pretty accurate. Nothing's computer generated from my expertise. Doesn't look like it's photoshopped or anything like that. Maybe one or two product shots somewhere scattered in there, but for the most part, it's pretty authentic. Most people post their own pictures too, so that's kind of a plus as well. It's not just the company just being the company. So the reviews of or at least the pictures will give like a 4 as well. Reviews are pretty poor. Um, it's a toss up. They do have good amenities, which is good for what it is, but review wise, we're probably gonna get that like a 2. The reviews weren't that good. A lot of people were kind of disappointed. So, oh well, we'll have to get that guy a free drink. Curb appeal. Curb appeal is there. We'll probably give curb appeal a 4. Unfortunately, we can't see the front, but we do see the back of it or inside the resort. Um, and we also have a drone shot of the property as well, which was this one. So I would say curb appeal. Well, yeah, I would say curb appeal is probably like a four. You come in, do your loops, check in here. Maybe they have valet service. That guy that we saw at the front of that one picture was probably the bellman. So you come in, I'd like to check in, please. And then you do your laps. Parking's over here. Um, the accommodations are probably from here, here, this building, this building, this building. Probably these individual huts. So the style makes sense. Yeah, definitely the style makes sense, and the curb appeal is pretty good. I would rate the curb appeal about a three. I think we can do better on the curb appeal, but they do have that kind of windy entrance as well. So, yeah, we'll probably get that like a three. And that's gonna do it for our review of the Makai Resort. All right. So here we are. We found a place in the middle of Aracaju. Well, a little bit more to the north, but we wanted to find a place that was in the city itself. So we're a little bit on the northern end, northwestern part. We're a little away from the airport, so that's going to kind of play a factor into tourism, things like that. Judging by the grid lines in the streets, this is a pretty industrialized area. We're going to hopefully take a look and see what the street view looks like. But we have a hospital nearby, different hotel. Um, yeah, so we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. Place we're going to be looking at is Pausada, São Luís. Probably butchering that, but basically Posada Luis, São Luís. 36 bucks apparently. And we're gonna take a look at some of the photos. Parking. Parking is important in the middle of a city, so that's pretty good. Here is here's some kids playing outside. This isn't even I don't think this is at the hotel. What are these accommodations? This is like a New York City apartment. Crammed it all together. So we have two twins, or a twin and a double. Twin and a queen, maybe. One faces the bathroom, the other one faces the wall or the entrance, probably. Bathroom looks pretty nice, but probably small. Breakfast. There's that bread that guy was talking about. Also watermelon. We saw watermelon served at the other breakfast as well. So it's probably a local, or not local, but something that they serve. Could be local. Um, two queens. This is probably a suite. Um, you come down, this is a little thing, or it could be the reception area. I don't think it's the reception area, just because, well, these could be magazines. It could be a reception. This is the lobby or something like that. Um, people are practicing, looks like singing. So, yes, this is reception. Yep. Um, kind of small. They have Ruffles chips, Fanta soda. I think that's iced tea, that Gold Peak tea. Magazines, small TV. Reception is more to be desired. I will say, reception is more to be desired. This is probably their restaurant and dining breakfast area. I don't really think that they serve food here, so this is kind of just like, here's the breakfast buffet, whatever. That's kind of it for the day. Maybe they do dinner service, lunch or dinner service, but I don't think so. Or they might do like catering, but here we go. Yeah, so queen bunk beds. So if you do the bunk bed strat, you can save a lot more space in the room. That, I mean, if you go vertical, you're saving a lot more. floor space in the room. So I think the bunk bed strat was a good idea. Um, Business center, I'm assuming. So you can print something out. Here is probably a map of the area or map of Brazil. Back area. This is the room. Look at that mirror. Oh my God, how can you see anything in that mirror? So small. Parking. Interesting kind of mosaic tile for the poles, but only this pole and only half of it. So that's pretty funny. This is, oh, cafe on the second floor. This is probably like a lounge room or something, maybe. Again, the space isn't really full. Um, I mean, considering that those tiles are probably, what, 6 inch by 6 inch, you're about like a foot away from the other person. Hotel bed. Interesting decorations. This one has a painting or a picture of some landscape, and this one has like abstract art and a bed. So that's kind of interesting to see. Stairs. Mosaic theme, but stairs. This was probably to that lounge picture that we saw. Bathroom, breakfast, bedroom, breakfast. Ice cream. That's cool. They sell ice cream. Again, this is the reception. So I would imagine you do all your checking and waiting and stuff here, get your keys, go up the stairs, whatever. Yep. And this is looks like it's kind of like open in the center. It's not enclosed like a fully enclosed building. It has an open center. So I guess they can also sell the rooms by you have a balcony or something like that. Maybe you can see the I was gonna say maybe you can see the beach. Yeah, if you squint hard enough, you might be able to see the beach. You're a little far away. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for pictures. Let's take a look at some of the reviews. 4.5 stars. Uh AC, cable, tourist, benefit cost ratio. Surreal. First picture or first review. Surreal. Um, I rated a 10. Great place to stay. The best. Regular. Worst experience. Conditions to stay in. The parking was terrible. The sheets and towels didn't smell good. Seems like they used a homemade soap. It's far from a tourist attraction. True. Far from the airport. Did make note of that. I felt guilty because I didn't check the Google reviews. Disappointment is the word. And another thing, extremely expensive, even for free, staying in a place this expensive. The owner reached out. We're deeply sorry. As we work, we daily offer to cleanings regarding bed, regarding parking. As for location, we are situated as indicated in all our sales channels, and the distance to tourist attractions and the airport can be easily verified before looking. Yep, you should have looked. I mean, even I can tell you that the airport is some distance away. Definitely some distance away. Very well received. Oops. Guest house is simple. Staff that worked there is positive. Major complaint, air conditioning. And bathroom air. Again, at least the staff is nice. Place sucked, but staff was nice. Um, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 3 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Room is extremely clean. Unfortunately, the location is not close to tourist attractions. However, it is close to gas stations, supermarkets, bakeries, and the like. So, I mean, if you're staying there on a business trip, you kind of want a city place. You want something that's close to everything else. and not a touristy place. You just want to like get food or pizza or something like that, bring it home, get some fruit or whatever. So yeah, this guy paid 800 local dollars, and somebody scratched his car. Um, so the attendant simply pretended just not to notice. Oh, it's always those bellmen. Um, yeah, the reviews are not bad. Well, yeah, the reviews aren't bad. I would say they're pretty good. We'll give the reviews a good rating. As for Street View and Curb Appeal, do we have any? We do. We do. So let's start on the street itself. Our hotel is this one right here. It is 1, 2, 3 floors, so I can just squeak by calling itself a hotel. Reception is outside and there's no door. So we're seeing this common theme here in Brazil, or at least in Aracaju, is that a lot of the entrance to buildings just don't have doors. So, parking, reception, do all that stuff, go up the stairs. So we see the stairs and we see the kind of like skylight in the middle where it's just like a hole. Uh, I'm not sure if these are guest rooms. That is a big question if they're guest rooms. Probably one of them is the restaurant or the cafe or something. Maybe these ones are guest rooms. Something one of these is guest rooms. But I think one of them is restaurant and dining. Or if that's the case, then on the opposite side, probably like on the interior here, is restaurant and dining, with these being like the premier suites. You are getting a street view of a garage. Okay. Street view of a garage and some dude selling food for $10. Okay. I mean, again, you're mostly just staying here. This is a different place. No, this is the same place. Um, you're basically just getting pretty good parking, and you're in the middle of Brazil. So, I mean, you're there for a reason. You're there for a reason. Can we see a different street view? Can we see the inside? I think there was a guy that showed the inside. Place next door that had the front parking, I think is a different place. So, oh well. And I think the place next door is also a different place. Yes. So, bam, bam, bam. Different hotels all lined up along the street here. So, um, well, curb appeal, I mean, it doesn't have too much curb appeal, but it definitely looks different. It's got a little bit of curb appeal. Different color, signage out front, doesn't look dilapidated. So we'll give the curb appeal a good rating. We'll give it to him. With that being said, let's go through our list of different reviews. So for location, we're gonna give it a 5. We're definitely gonna give it a 5. This is right in the downtown, uptown, middle of town. This is pretty much Aracaju, if you know Aracaju. Grocery stores, food, and everything like that is near you. You also have a hospital, which we keep seeing. Hospital, uh, fitness center. It doesn't look like there's parks. Maybe I won't give it 5 stars. Maybe I'll give it 4 stars. Fitness center, things like that. Everything's kind of in the town. What is this? Federal economics. Hotel Phoenix. It's just whatever. Um, so location, we'll give it a 4. Style, or what it is, we'll probably give it a 3. It does have some style, Again, we saw blue out front, mosaic tiles here and there. Blue is the theme. The rooms aren't themed very well, I would say, so that's going to be a couple points knocked off for that. Um, each room was kind of a little bit different. Some of them are completely different, like one bed's facing one way as opposed to the other facing the other way. Um, different paintings and pictures on the wall. Usually, sometimes they'll do a theme where, say, uh, I'm in a log cabin themed resort, right? Each of the paintings on the wall is a different tree or a different animal or something that's related. We saw a mixture of local landscape as well as abstract art, so it's not too coherent. So for style, we'll probably give it a three. Pictures seemed pretty accurate. Um, yeah, I mean the pictures seem pretty accurate. Nothing seems computer generated. It does give us a pretty fair layout and understanding of what the building looks like, which is a plus. Yeah, that was definitely a huge benefit. We got to explore the building from the inside. But pictures, we'll probably give it like a three. Pictures weren't really too good. Again, the building doesn't look good, so that's gonna be a factor to it. Yeah, we'll give that a three. Reviews, reviews are good. The reviews we'll probably give a 4 stars. Yeah, we'll probably give it 4 stars. I mean, a lot of people understand what it is. It's a city hotel. It's away from touristy places. You're here, but you're close to different things. Uh, CIA, the flooring store. But yeah, I would say the reviews are like a four. They are pretty good. They do the justice. People understand what it is, so it's not like people are like blindsided by anything. But yeah, people are pretty appreciative of this place, so we'll give it a 4 stars. And for curb appeal, um, I will say it does have some curb appeal, so we'll give that a 4 star. Again, when we saw it on the street view, we knew exactly what building it was. It's exactly as what the picture showed us, which those two going hand in hand is pretty good. But curb appeal, we'll give this a four. It doesn't have much of a view, which is kind of unfortunate, and it is in kind of a not as well kept part of town. I mean, this guy has mosaics out front of his, but overall, we'll give the curb appeal probably like a four. And with that being said, that is our review of Pausada Sao Luis, and on to the next one. All right, for our fourth place that we found, we ended up finding another city place. This is going to be on the eastern side. Go to load. A little bit towards the eastern side of Aracaju, um, far away from the airport. That's going to be another thing. Again, we're not on the other side in this area, but we are a little bit further away towards the city end. There's McDonald's. Um, so we're going to look at the Rede Andrade Jangueiro. Probably butchered the name. About 4 stars, 700 reviews, 750. A little bit cheap, $17 a night, but yeah, I mean it's in a densely populated area, a little bit off the path. Might be a state building there. A couple of shops, theater. Looks like some stuff is walkable. So let's take a look at some pictures. The first picture is a video actually, and it is a breakfast. Gotta love that breakfast. Um, I'm not too big of a breakfast person. I like breakfast food sometimes, just not at breakfast time. Two beds, matching sheets and pillowcases, or that could be an extension of the sheet itself, but matching, which is pretty good. TV in the room. Um, Limited floor space, but usually that's fine. And that's the guy's stuff. Pool. We have a pool. Maybe there's outside service, but we have a pool. Um, Matching. Again, we have this matching theme. It looks like it's kind of this beigeish, tannish, woodish type of color. Orange, that hue. But the building so far seems to be matching. Restaurant. This is a nice little restaurant. Tabletops are pretty nice. We have wooden furniture, which is pretty good. Velvet chairs or cushion chairs. So I would say this is a little bit higher end. Glass windows, but there's that beach view, the middle of the city. But no, this looks pretty good. I don't know if they have restaurant service besides just breakfast, but if they do, that would be pretty nice. Um, ah, three beds in a room. What is this? Three beds in a room. Um, and the towels here are just kind of rolled up. I don't know if you can really see that, but uh, they didn't really do a whole lot to it. The room still has the same theme. There's kind of like strip of color on the wall. I mean, again, asking for a theme is pretty good. Pool, pool leaves a little bit more to be desired. Breakfast to the pool area. We can kind of see that it's right outside there. This is not from the hotel. There's no way that's from the hotel. Yeah, there's no way that's from the hotel. So fake picture. Um, this is apparently the reception area. This is a product shot, actually. This looks like it's the lobby, decorated around Christmas time. Um, the desk is big, it has decent space. People can walk in. I mean, it looks pretty good. Product shot. Yeah, I mean, it has some good floor space. Little waiting area that we saw in a different picture. Um, Short step up to either stairs or the elevator. Big open area, a couple of different seating options, TV, and yeah, I mean, the reception area looks pretty good. It's clean. Nothing looks falling like it's falling apart. I mean, there's not much furniture in it, but sometimes you don't want that in a lobby. And they have this little, well, this isn't really like a business center. This is more like a kiosk or something, like a concierge desk where it's just brochures and local attractions there. I do not believe that they're going to have a concierge though. So it's just kind of the front desk guy, some local working there, presumably. Again, it is Christmas time, so we see some Christmas decorations, but I think the lobby looks pretty good. Plants, incorporating the outside and inside, symbols, or at least those are Christmas decorations. Um, it's coherent. The style is there. The style is there. Breakfast foods, hallways. Um, no carpeting for hallways, which is interesting. Usually places will do carpets on the floors with intricate designs to help try to hide dirt. This one instead did marble floors, probably easier to clean. Use like a bleach or a peroxide or something, wipe it down. But I don't think that there's a difference. Maybe when you go into the rooms, it's a little bit different of a floor. But it looks like in the common areas for hallways, they use a more hard surface. Breakfast outside. I mean, it's got some high rise. It's elevated above other places, which is nice. You can see a couple of skyscrapers off in the distance. There's that beach view. There's that beach view. But yeah, I mean, it's elevated in the city. So at least if you get a higher floor, you get some sort of view that's not of the local area or some guy's store or something like that. TV, bed is probably the three bed place, mini fridge, sodas, beers or whatever. Conference area, um, three. So 6 by 7 is about like 42. So you have like 42 people seating here. Outside branding. Oh, I hope this is it. I don't know if this is our hotel. Actually, it might be our hotel. This is a product shot though, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Hopefully we can see that in the street view. Um, pool. Pool's very small. It's very small, limited. It's the middle of the city, so they can't have too much real estate for that, but they could probably go inside a little bit, maybe make an indoor pool or whatever is on the wall here, maybe cut that space, open up the pool a little bit more, because this does seem kind of small. It's there though. Um, Once again, office and reception doesn't look like it's Christmas time, but coherent, makes sense, has a pattern. More we can ask for. Um, yeah, this is the overview of the city. I think that's our hotel. Might not be. Might be that building actually. This one down here. But that's an overview of the city. Cheese, ham, and rolls. Breakfast of champions. Yeah, I mean it's okay. Not a five-star hotel by any means, but it's a pretty good hotel. It's a pretty good one. So, with that being said, let's take a look at some reviews. It does have quite a bit of reviews, so let's hope that we can see some good ones. Uh, if Aracaju Beach is not your main interest, but you'd like to discover the past of Aracaju, this is a great place because it's located on the edge of the center. The streets of the South Jangdario, San Jose neighborhood are also worth some visits. Very good hotel, small swimming pool. Yep, see. Uh, few not many restaurants within walking distance. And the restaurant doesn't have, or the hotel doesn't have a restaurant. So that's kind of unfortunate. Bomb business group. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars. Legal. 5 stars. Show. 1 star. 2 weeks ago. The photo on the website show beautiful and well-maintained exteriors. We found we were extremely outdated facilities, the opposite of the photos. The room had moldy ceilings, wardrobe doors kept falling off, rusty managed fridge. Maintenance issues mostly. It doesn't have 3 stars, it's 0 stars. Be careful about believing the photos. Stay in Hotel Italia. They keep referencing other places. Everybody keeps referencing other places when they go to these hotels, which is kind of odd. You're just referencing someone else's business. Um, Pretty low. Only one freezer in the reception area. Most hotels do not have a freezer. Usually you have to use the kitchen freezer. Then it becomes a health thing. But most hotels don't have freezers. So, calm down, lady. Oh, Carlos. Calm down, sir. You don't know what you're talking about. Old hotel, poorly maintained, terrible cleaning. When asked to have the room cleaned, they didn't. Stayed 15 days for work. My God, he's paid a fortnight. And if I can, I'll never go back. Um, this is probably a long-term stay. Again, we see a lot of offices and random stuff around here, so this is probably a longer-term stay. I gave it 1 star because I couldn't give it 0. Need renovations. The guy at the desk was good. Oh, at least the service was good. On the penultimate day, we took an Uber, and the driver mentioned picking up a guest who had the same symptoms. Um, I guess somebody got sick. 4 stars, 1 stars. Unfortunately, the stay is terrible. Wouldn't recommend it. It was never a 3-star hotel. It was never. This is my first time staying at this. Oh, it's a chain. Well, we saw that. We saw it from the side. So rooms. The room was musty. I'm nearby water, so I can imagine it being a little bit moldy or watery. Humidity being a problem. Small market on Sundays, close to shopping center, market, museum, and the river. Quiet streets, constant police presence. You're in a touristy area, or at least a touristy town. They're gonna have higher security than some other places, especially if you're getting a lot of international traffic. Terrible place. 5 stars. 5 stars. Terrible place. 8 days. Yeah, these people are staying for multiple days. This is a long-term stay solution, at least by the looks of it. Staff is polite. Shout out to the staff. Yeah. All right. Well, we saw some of the pictures. We saw some of the reviews. Um, the big worry or the big wonder, do we have street view? Is there curb appeal? So we're right at the corner. Um, this is the street. I mean, it's kind of small, a little bit run down, but the hotel, oh my God, that is some curb appeal. We have a fence. A lot of the places that we saw have fences, but we have a fence and some foliage growing out front. We have parking. I'm assuming you can't park there, or this is only for check-in. But parking out front. We have a nice curve on the sidewalk. We have handicap accessibility, which is also a plus. So it's not just the stairs. We have handicap accessibility. We have outdoor plants. We have a blue and white theme going on, so it is themed. This, I'm assuming, is valet parking, maybe. This is a different place entirely. Um, we have about 3 floors here, plus a maintenance floor, so probably 4 floors. In the other section of the hotel, we saw it has 4 floors. Let's see if we can go on this side of it. Nope, that's just some dude's house. So yeah, the one side goes a little bit higher, to the 4th floor. A little bit blurry. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th floors. 1, 2, 3. 3 floors. 7 different hallways. So I mean that's pretty good. Uh, windows. So windows. If we do look over here, this is the first place where it has a real door. So that's pretty interesting. So we'll make a note of that. But overall, looks pretty solid. I would say this is a pretty good place. So, with that being said, let's give our review of the 3-day Andrade Jangadero. So, location-wise, um, in the city, away from the airport, we're gonna give that 4 stars. Just because, again, it's in a city, but not near anything really. But people are staying for business trips, so it makes sense for where they're staying. Um, yeah, we'll give that like a 4 stars. As for style and what it is, might be a 5 stars. Might be 5 stars. This is a pretty coherent place. All the rooms, for the most part, match. Um, outside it has, color to it. It's very obvious that this is the hotel. Um, Building is a little bit higher than the rest. So I would say for style, we're gonna give that a 5 stars. That's a pretty good style. Pretty good. Pictures. We saw some of the pictures. I think the pictures did some pretty good justice. Like I said, though, there's one or two that are product shots, and kind of, you know, maybe not entirely accurate, but I think they gave a pretty good overview. Some of them were from different angles of the certain rooms, different accommodations, different common areas. So we at least got to see some diversity out of them, which is a plus. So I would give pictures probably a 4 star as well. Um, yeah, I think the pictures did pretty good. Reviews. We saw a lot of reviews. We have a toss up of complainers versus people that understood why they're there. So we're gonna give reviews of 3 stars. All of the people that are on business trips, they complain because they're there for a really long time. All the other people on business trips don't complain because it is cheap and they are there for business. The hotel is serving exactly what its function is. You're there for a reason. You're there to work. You're not really there to live there or experience a lot of touristy stuff. You're there pretty much just to have the hotel as a temporary stay for whatever business you're doing outside of it. Most likely work related. So reviews, we're probably gonna rate that like a 3. Um, yeah, we'll probably rate that at 3. Curb appeal, 5 stars. 5 star curb appeal. When we saw it, I mean, it has a mosaic front, it has doors, has an actual door. Um, when we did look at it, it was blue exterior themes. It was very clear that this was the hotel. Proper signage. It made a lot of sense. Pretty much what we saw on Street View was pretty accurate to one of the side video or the side pictures that we saw. So it does its justice. It definitely does its justice. So curb appeal, we're gonna rate that a 5 out of 5. And that is going to do it for this hotel. All right. So for our final hotel, we did choose something that was more of a hotel or an airport hotel. We picked one that I could pronounce in English, Flex Love, Flex that love. But we have Nuance and Flex Love. But this is a hotel airport, or this is an airport hotel. Sorry, the order matters. And it's a little bit more expensive, $44 a night. It's a little bit more expensive with it being so close to the entrance. You're just arriving in Brazil, say from another country, and close, cheap accommodations. Well, cheap to a tourist, but this is actually a little bit more expensive if you do your research like we have. So Flex Love has about 300 reviews. It says it's a hotel. I'm going to make that argument again that this is actually a motel because it doesn't look like it's more than 3 floors, or at least 3 floors. Um, 300 reviews, about 4 stars. Again, $44 a night, a little bit more expensive. So some of the pictures. This is the front, which looks like a garage. Um, Same picture again. Blue and red. At least a nice mosaic out front. Whoa. Whoa, look at this. Uh, First room. This looks like it's a honeymoon suite. Or maybe they're all like that because it's love themed, but nice mosaic, nice mirrored wall. I mean, it has some pretty good details inside the room. Rose up top, little table, chair. This is probably a king or a queen, and bathroom. Uh, Branded towels. That's a plus. They have branded linens. Shows that they care a little bit more about their property, or at least it's a hotel chain that does. Um, Still keeping with a theme, still seeing reflected mirrors, uh, and beds. Oh, this is pretty weird. They have black leather. I think those, is that a radio? I think it's a radio on the bed. Um, but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty coherent. It looks like it has a theme. It makes sense. This is probably a different angle of the room. So we see that the table is actually a small little platform island coming off the wall. This is the front door of the unit. So outside it would say Flex Love on your door. Room 24. We have a TV, which is nice. Little love seat here. Beds. The bed could be a little bit more comfortable looking. This is the love seat. Whoa. Now it becomes a strip club. Whoa. We have the stripper pole in the middle of the room. We have some purple black lights here, disco ball, basically a stage. Pretty crazy. Before we get into street view, let's see if we have any more pictures. Probably not. It's just gonna show a street view of each of the rooms, which is actually nice because you get to see what the rooms actually look like. So a little bit iffy there. Not entirely dark. Probably someone's complaining about that. That's why it's pictured. Looks pretty spacious. It looks like you do have some good space. Space. This is probably to the hot water unit for the room. Maintenance door. And it's probably telling people check outs at 11 or whatever. This is, I don't know if that's the building we're looking at or if that's the same building. Parking. Looks like there's parking, hotel parking, motel parking. Sorry, my bad. And curb appeal. So, let's see. Pretty solid. Um, I would say that's pretty solid. It's coherent, it makes sense, has a style and a theme. Let's see what people say about it. Price, shower, structure, note. Um, whoops. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 1 star. Air conditioning didn't work. Pillow was too hard for someone just passing through. Overnight stay. Power was weak. Whenever I turned on the lights or anything else, the TV would shut off. Staff deserves a praise. Excellent service. Staff deserve a praise. Once again, it's all about that service. Um, 1 out of 5, and they took the stripper pole room. 1 out of 5. I'm adding to my note to review because of a very unpleasant experience. I've been going to this motel for about a year now. Everyone who works there knows me. But an attendant named Michelle was extremely rude. Um, but today I felt really more uncomfortable. I really like this motel. I stayed in all the rooms. They are very comfortable and modern. We will take necessary actions to not have this happen again. They do not care. To be honest, they don't care. I leave only the stars. I have never visited. Guys never even visited. The room was cleaned and smelled nice. The sheets and towels were clean. A little bit cramped. Attention management. At the airport, I called now and a certain Maria didn't answer. Oh, she did answer. Didn't give me any information. Hung up. Oh well. 5 stars. Um, I didn't like it as soon as I walked in. On the way up, I was full of cigarette-like fussiness. Only one towel and it was old at that. Horrible. 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Service was great. Lots of mosquitoes. Shower doesn't get hot. TV channels are offline. TV doesn't work. Far from everything, they brought me for breakfast and my wife that Jesus. It was only for one person to eat. It should be called a morning snack, not breakfast. But place was clean. Terrible, dirty, TV not working, dangerous location. Is it? I mean, maybe. We haven't seen Street View yet. We saw a little bit of it, but we haven't really explored Street View of the area. There was a scorpion in the room. Um, and they still wanted me to pay for the 5 minutes I was there. You can hear a lot of the conversations in nearby rooms. Air condition is weak. Five, 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 five. All right, a lot of 5 stars. Again, people understand what it is. They're staying there. They're flying off the airport. They're staying somewhere close, cheap, a little bit more expensive, but pretty close. They know what they're getting. I don't see any complaints about the airport, which is kind of funny because people complain about the walls being thin and hearing their neighbors. But I'm not sure of the busyness of this airport, but people did not really care too much about planes and things like that. Um, Also looked like people didn't really care about the fact that it looks like um a porno scene. So that's also a plus. Looks like they might have stayed because of that. So let's take a look at Street View. See if we get that same type of curb appeal that we keep being advertised. And so we're passing by the street. We tell our local guide, oh, we're staying at Flex Love. And he goes, I know exactly where that is. So curb appeal, actually pretty nice. Entrance, not quite sure where the entrance is. No way, this is the entrance. Actually, that could be the entrance. No, there's no way that's the entrance. Um, could be actually. Is it? Hmm, I doubt it. But curb appeal looks pretty good. They have a gardener that does their flowers out front. A couple of roses thrown in there, bushes, mosaic tiles, bright good color scheme. It has its logo, palm trees, pretty pretty standard curb. We're probably gonna rate this pretty high. Can we see the other side of it? Probably not. This is probably gonna be something else. Oh, why can't we stay there? Probably because it's some dude's house. Um, yeah, I guess we can't really see it. Let's see what this is on the inside. Taxi. Taxi took us to Flex Love. Come on, Google guy, get in there. If I can't get my guy in there, then oh well. We did see a little bit of the insides actually. I don't think I'm able to get my guy in there. So, oh well. Let's go through the ratings for Flex Love. So, for Flex Love, for location, location is going to be mm, um what is location? We'll get the location like a 3. I mean, it's by the airport. That's pretty much its only factor is it's by the airport. So we'll give the location a 3. Um, as for style or what it is, 5 stars. It definitely has style. I am not a fan, again, that it calls itself a hotel versus a motel. Um, but 2 p.m. check-in, 12 p.m. checkout. Oh wow, that's pretty generous. Um, but I am going to say that style is definitely 5 stars. For pictures, the pictures were hysterical. The rooms were pretty funny. Um, I would rate the pictures 5 stars. We saw some interesting stuff. We saw a lot of informative stuff. Showed us the insides of it. Didn't look like it was a lot of product shots. It looked like it was genuine reviews. Nothing computer generated there. So it looked pretty legit. Um, yeah, pretty solid. So pictures 5 stars. Reviews. Reviews were pretty coherent. Reviews were pretty on point. Most people enjoyed it. So we're gonna give reviews probably like a 4. Obviously you can't please everybody, but for the most part, people understand what you're booking it for. Um, that seems to be a lot of the cases for what we've seen today is that you're booking it for that expectation, and they are not looking for 5 stars, but they are looking for what they need it for. Coming off the hotel, maybe you're staying for something, I don't know, just a night, like the one guy said, just a night, right there, flex love. Curb appeal, 5 stars. We saw some very sexy curb appeal, very colorful. It pops. It has good color. It doesn't look run down. Um, well, curb appeal we might give a 4. We're gonna give the curb appeal a 4 just because we can't see what the actual entrance is. Um, yeah, this is a weird building. Yeah, you can't really understand what the entrance looks like. We saw the car entrance, but I would think the reception entrance is a little bit different. So we're gonna give the curb appeal a 4 out of 5, but pretty good curb appeal though. It did look pretty good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the Assembly Legislative Building of Aracaju, where we are going to make our final decision and see what place we saw today that is going to compare above the rest. Uh, I'm going to put all the stats on the board there so that we can take a look and see. And I'm going to conclude by saying if you did enjoy today's video, please be sure to leave a like and hit subscribe, where we're going to find more places to look at on Google Maps and review. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in next time when we find another city with different wonders to explore. All right. Thank you so much, and bye.